So this is one of the comments on my YouTube channel. So this one is from Daniel Mbuka. He says, please, what's the implication of using total Quartz 5000 20w-50 on Peugeot 307 with TU5JP4 engine with oil change interval of 5,000 kilometers? See, oil change interval doesn't matter in this case. If you like, change it every 1,000 kilometers. 500 kilometers is pointless. As long as you are using 20w-50 oil weight on TU5JP4 engine, the harm will still be done. You're going to grind your engine gradually. So this oil is too thick for your engine. It's not recommended for it. There are 3 oil grades recommended for your engine. Number 1 is 5w-30, which is B712297. The next one is 5w-40, B712296. The third one is 10w-40, B712300. These are the 3 oil weights recommended for your engines with their Peugeot certification codes. So one of them is total was I know HTC 5w-30, or there's this mobile, trying to remember, mobile one, is it mobile one? There's one mobile one, 5 foot mat, something. Well, there's one particular mobile 5w-30 Formula 1, something like that, or I think Formula 1, but you just check behind it, you see B712296, PSA B712297, I meant. Then that is for 5w-30. Then for the 5w-40, you can use total was 9,000 5w-40, or you can use mobile super 3,000 5w-40. I think there's another brand. Trying to remember this Shell oil. I don't remember the name, their own model name, which is also 5w-40. Likewise, when you come to 10w-40, you have total cost 7,000 10w-40. You know, these ones are listed, excluding this Shell. The Shell 5w-40, I've not used this, so I can't really recommend. Well, it's recommended by Peugeot since he has that certification. I hope that's the genuine one, that these are not fake Shell they sell. I don't know, maybe it's how genuine, the one I've seen in Nigeria so far. So but total, mobile, the ones I've listed, I've used them. Not necessarily on my own cars, on people's cars, and they work, they serve. So they are good, high quality oils. The mobile one, the mobile 5w-40, I'm still running like can I say call it experiment, because it's over 2 years now, or about 2 years that I started using that oil. So but I can't say I've had any negative experience so far. So but for the total one, yeah, no, I can tell you, I can vouch for them. So these are the oil recommended for TU5JP4 engine, irrespective of which Peugeot car you'll find that engine. This is what is oils that are recommended. 20w-50 are not meant for that kind of engine. The only time people use it, or I could even say, or recommend it, is when the engine is already weak. Maybe it's already burning oil, not leaking actually, and not burning. Oil is shorting, no leakage, and you can tell almost every few kilometers you have to top up oil. You accelerate your car, bring out whitish, bluey smoke or stuff like that. Yeah, that's not for oil. So you either rebuild your engine at that time, maybe it's only the rings that have been affected, or maybe it has gone beyond the rings. what will now happen? The thicker oil will reduce the consumption, which such as the 20w-50. But the point is, it's no longer about your ring, because while you do that, it may start affecting your crankshaft, your camshaft, your valves, and some other things on your engine that could, by the time the consumption increases, even with the thicker oil, you are no longer dealing with the piston and the rings and the cylinder walls or sleeves. It has gone beyond that. So even if you go and change your rings or pistons, you you realize your engine will lose power. You can also be getting oil pressure warning constantly. Even though you change your rings, change your piston, but oil pressure issue will remain. Probably your oil pump, it has weakened your oil pump because it's too thick for your oil pump. So it has weakened it. So that what I just tell people is, use it only when you know what, this engine I'm going to is already going, but I'm not prepared financially or otherwise to deal with that issue. So you can use this 20w-50 to shorten the consumption, pending when you can afford to deal with that engine issue, get rid of it or do a proper rebuild. But like I said, the longer you use it, the more you will spend if you are going to do a rebuild. You know. So that's the two. So the oil 20w-50 is not a bad oil, it's just not for your engine as far as this TU5JP4 is concerned. So I want people to understand. Don't say, oh, am I condemning 20? No, I'm not condemning it. There are cars that can actually use it and they will I won't say hardly feel the effect. But it may not affect it the way it will affect modern engines, like uh S-series engine you find in Peugeot 404, 504, 505, those old carburetor engines. You can use 20w-50. Doesn't mean you may not degrade it, but man, compared to modern ones, those ones, this engine, this S-series engine, I'm talking about SC engine, SM7, SM7A, SN1, SN uh, 1A, and some of the injected ones like SN2, SN6, and the rest. So these engines are regarded as agricultural. They sound like agricultural engines. So that's why the kind of oil they use are not meant to be that light as such. 10W, they actually 10W40 are recommended for them, or 15W40. But my point, if you use 20W50, I don't think you are going to start crying tomorrow. But then, of course, the 10W40 will be much better, or 15W40. But you can't, someone that owns these cars or use these engines in those older Peugeot cars I mentioned, using 20w-50, if you go and do it because you're using that, his own might last him 40 years. I'm not saying, probably I'm exaggerating, or it could be 20 years, 30 or so before you even start having effect of using that kind of thick oil. But your own may not even last you 2 years, you start having that effect. So I want you to understand. So those engines are designed to run irrespective of the oil thickness or not. You can run with it without much effect, if any, compared to your own that has no, almost zero tolerance in terms of the oil thickness. All right, so how this makes sense, if anybody is advising you to use 20w-50, which I understand, because considering the economy in Nigeria, so is 20w-50 is total 5,000 plus 5,000. It's not even that cheap anymore, but at least compared to the lighter ones, 20w-50 is cheaper for the total oil. But then you compare the cost of engine, replacing your engine, and the cost of recommended oil, maybe you might think twice which oil to pour in. So all right.